What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing today? Man, I've been getting a few questions, man, asked to me, man. I got some of my peoples from the Chi, some of my kinfolks. They be asking me, man, why don't I tell some of my stories about, about my upbringing and about my gang banging days, man. And I be kind of torn on that, you know what I mean? It's like, man, cause now I'm in my 40s now, you know what I mean? So I be kind of like torn between if I feel like telling like war stories on here, or you know what I mean. I'd rather tell my history of my music and stuff like that, cause I got a lot of background in music. I got a lot of background in travels and stuff like that. It's more to me than just my GD affiliation. And let it be known, I'm not active anymore. You know what I mean? I'm not a participant in any type of organization anymore. So you know what I mean? It's like, man, it's a lot of, you see a lot of stuff going on online now, where you see the brothers telling their stories about their affiliation in different organizations and different gangs. And I don't knock brothers for what they do, you know what I mean? But it's like, I don't feel as though I have to take that route on my stories, you know what I mean? I would rather, because I never was the jail dude, you know what I mean? I've done little stints here and there, you know what I mean? But I've never been the dude to do a lot of long years, you know what I mean? I've done stints here and there. That's never been my forte. I've never been that, you know what I mean? I don't feel as though you have to do no long stints of jail time to be considered a real nigga. You know what I mean? That's never been, you know what I mean? That don't give you no stripes. You know what I mean? Because I know a bunch of dudes that done got a bunch of jail time and they bitch fied. You know what I mean? So that don't give you no stripes in my book. You know what I mean? So I don't feel as though I should have to tell war stories to be proved or to be considered a real dude. You know what I mean? So it's like I've done everything in the streets that you can look at to be considered a real one. You know what I mean? I've done all the selling the drugs in the streets. I've done all the gang banging in the streets. I've shut down bars. I've knocked out the so-called toughest niggas out here. I've shut clubs down. I've shut bars down. I've shut blocks down. I've done all of that. But I'd rather somebody else say what they know yak for, instead of me coming out here pressing about what I'm poking my chest out on what I've done on that type of stuff. You know what I mean? That's just the way I look at it. You know what I mean? But not knocking anybody else if they want to tell their story like that. You know what I mean? Because I look at it like, man, it's enough. The shorties out here doing enough rowdy shit already, where, you know what I mean, we don't need to gas them up even more, man. That's how I look at it. You know what I mean? Even though it's not a lot of Chicago dudes telling about the GDs, the BDs, the 4CHs, and you know what I mean, the Stones and all of that. Even still, I don't feel as though, man, we should have to promote that on these platforms, man, to get our point across, man. You know what I mean? That's just my mental where I'm at in my space right now. You know what I mean? It's like, man, so I look at it a little different for the stage I'm at in my life right now. You know what I mean? I got a lot of war stories. You know what I mean? It's like, man, I got all the scars to prove it. I've lost, man. I took a lot of losses out here in the process of that. You know what I mean? I've got a lot of gains in the process of that shit too. But it's like, man, I don't feel as though I should have to. You know what I mean? I guess at some point I probably will tell some of them, because I got some that I do need to get off my chest, because I've lost some homeboys. You know what I mean? Especially one of my homeboys, Chat. That was like one of my best friends. And I got some stories with me and him that I'm gonna express. That I need to, because you know what I mean? I need his name to live on. You know what I mean? So at some point I'm gonna tell some of his stories with me and him. You know what I mean? At some point that I want the people to know about, because this is a brother that's you know what I mean, that I love. You know what I mean? So I think his story need to be told, and the man that he is need to be, you know what I mean, brought to light. So I'll probably tell some of his tales affiliated with me along the way. You know what I mean? So some of the trials and tribulations me and him went through together. So I'll probably tell some of those, but you know what I mean? So, but as far as me just starting a whole genre on here, just my war stories, I don't know if I'm gonna do that. You know what I mean? Because it's like, man, I'm trying to build us up, man. I want our people to build up. I don't want to keep tearing us down, man. Because it's like, man, we got enough going on with these shorties out here right now, man. They on reckless time already, man. It's like, man, we got enough genocide when we cut this shit on already. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't want to add to that. For real. You know what I mean? That's just my take on it, to be totally honest. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to add to the destruction of our people, man. I done enough of that shit already, man. It's like, I done put enough drama. I done put enough poison out in our community already. So I'm trying to do a little change on that, man. It's like, man, I'm not proud of some of the stuff that I've done. You know what I mean? I'm proud of the transition that I made to get past that. You know what I mean? But in the process, you know, we make changes and growth as we get older, man. So it's like I'm at a different stage in my life where, you know what I mean, I'm trying to make a difference now, you know, with my people. I'm trying to make a difference in my community. I'm trying to uplift young brothers, man. You know what I mean? I'm trying to show them that you can take a different path now, you know. The Jack that I used to be, I'm not the same dude today, you know what I mean? So that's why so for my fams that be hollering at me saying like, man, Yak, tell these niggas who you is, bro. Show them who you is, man, because cats don't know who you is, bro. They think you a regular Joe Blow and you got some shit with you, man. Show them that you a thorough dude. I ain't got nothing to prove, man. For real, if a nigga don't know, they probably don't need to know. You know what I mean? That's just real spill, man. But you know what I mean? I ain't out here trying to get no stripes, man. Cause I done already done it, man. I'm respected everywhere I go, man. And if I gotta prove to somebody that they step on my toes, that's last resort, for real. Cause I'm man enough to try to make sure me and the next man make it home. You know what I mean? But if somebody excessively wanna keep trying to override their fucking authority, of course I put a cat where they need to be. But other than that, I'm trying to make sure me and the next brother make it home, man. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't tell a lot of the war stories, but you know, to each his own, man. But that's just my take on it for all the people that's asking why I don't go in depth on my gangbanging days, my go hard days in the streets from Chicago to Baltimore to Cali. You know what I mean? That's just what it is, you know. It's Yak, Chi-Town's finest. But I'll be back at y'all with some of these stories, man. I'll get back at you. Like, subscribe, and share. And we out.